time to kick out the jams, motherfucker! Yeah! I'm a hot kicker! Yeah! Well, I feel pretty good, and I guess that I could get crazy now, baby. 'Cause we all gotta do no matter doesn't you get crazy now, baby. I know how you want it, John, with that tight. The girls can't stand it when you're doing it right. Let me up on the stand and let me kick out the jam. Yes, kick out the jam. I have to kick them out. Yes, I'm starting to sweat, you know my shirt's all wet. What I'm feeling in the sound that I bounce and resounds and resounds off the ceiling. You gotta have it, baby, you can't do it without it. When you get the feeling, you got song of all from the
Hello, vinyl community. How you doing? I'm back with some more records and some more fun here in Synner's Den. So let's not waste any more time. I got about 8 or so records of some brand new stuff, some old stuff, all pretty. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Synner's Den. Hey, vinyl community, I didn't see you there. Did you realize that Justin Timberlake has a huge sneaker collection and a different GIMP mask for every color sneaker he has? That's amazing. Anyway, let's get into some records here. Number 1, big shout out to Abigail DeVoe. She just put out a literal movie about her favorite band, the MC5. Ba-bow! And I've got a copy of their debut album, the MC5. This is a record store release, record store day release. Isn't that gorgeous? Red, white, and blue. Here's the back of that one. And of course, the inside gatefold of the guys shirtless. What? And it's got the word motherfucker in it, like it should. This is a fantastic album. You have to go see. I'm just going to direct you straight to her video. 2 hours, 40 minutes, all about the history of the MC5. So much information in there. So many great stories about their tours, about their crazy incidents, about things and shutdowns and incidents with the police. Fantastic. This is a must-have album, and I have to admit, after watching her video, she released it 11 days ago, a week and a half ago. After watching that video, I immediately went on Discogs and ordered this album because I was missing it, and I was inspired by her video to get some MC5 in my collection, and so glad I did. Go check out Abigail DeVoe, MC5 movie. It is fantastic. She is amazing. Did you know that Kevin Federline's only album, Playing with Fire, is Kim Jong-un's favorite rap album? And he played it for Donald Trump? And there's possible video on Korean TikTok of the two of them lip syncing to some of the songs? I got this, and I love this. This is Now and Then, the new song by the Beatles. How fun is it to say that? New song by the Beatles. This is the back cover here, much better than the front cover. And it's a pretty blue swirl vinyl. Comes with the B-side of Love Me Do on there. And I love the song. I've heard some mixed reviews on YouTube from some people. I think it's fantastic. The technology, there's a 12-minute video about it. The technology of splitting the piano from John Lennon's vocals on the demo tape that Yoko Ono gave them back in the 90s to work from. They didn't have the technology then, but when they made their recent movie, Peter Jackson got the technology and managed to split it for them. And they had old tracks of George Harrison playing guitar when they first tried to fool with it in the 90s. And they had Ringo come in, and Paul did some piano work on it, put the piano back on there. I've heard people say that it sounds like a juxtaposition of old recording sound and new recording sound. I don't feel that way, because you've got George Martin's son went in and did some orchestral stuff like they used to do, and it really pulls it all together. It starts off very sweet with John and the piano, and slowly builds and builds as more and more instruments come in. There's a great bass line fill by Paul as it falls into the bigger part. This is really fantastic. Totally worth running out and getting. Supporting the Beatles. I think they're going to be really huge. It says here that Paris Hilton used to not shower for days and days on end when they were partying together. I can kind of believe that. I am finished out what I need for the Motley Crue collection. I have Motley Crue's first album. Now I got Shout at the Devil. I also have Dr. Feelgood. Really don't need any more Motley Crue. I've honestly heard in interviews, I love Motley Crue, but I've heard in interviews from Nikki Sixx that during Girls, Girls, Girls and Theater of Pain, he was at his highest. In the Heroin Diaries, he talks about he was at his worst and his highest. He doesn't like the songs on those albums, and frankly, I don't really either. So, and look at that. Fire. There's the back cover with that glossy upside down pentagram. Really cool inner sleeve, inner gatefold of the guys. Back in the Satanic Panic days of the 80s. What a look that was. This is the Urban Outfitters limited edition pressing. I believe there's only about 750, maybe 1,000 of these. Really surprised that Urban Outfitters did that. I got all my Britney Spears vinyl from Urban Outfitters, which I will show in a video someday. But definitely all set now with Motley Crue. I got the first album, second album, Dr. Feelgood. All I really need. This is always been a classic. This is a fun record to play guitar along to. The riffs aren't that difficult. Really great album. I don't need to tell you what's on this. You all know. Shout at the Devil, Looks to Kill. Come on. After Britney shaved her head, that salon closed down. The woman who owned the salon took all the hair and sold it for $300 million on eBay. Next up, we've got Iron Butterfly bootleg. This is fantastic bootleg. Let's get it out of the wrap here. We got some great songs on here. This is from their first album, right after their first album. This is bootleg on Keyhole Records. We got Real Fright, Possession, Filled with Fear. I love the song Filled with Fear. Lonely Boy. This is so killer, just on regular black vinyl. But live at the Galaxy in Los Angeles, July 1967. So killer. I love Iron Butterfly. My dad had Iron Butterfly Ball in his collection when I got his collection as a kid, and we used to listen to that. The keyboard jams in here are as good, if not better, than John Lord's Deep Purple stuff. I find it fantastic, the climbs and the falls and the solos that they get on some of the key sounds. This is really great stuff. This is before the Indigada-Davida days. This is some of the Iron Butterfly at their creepiest, and just super great to have in the collection. Brittany likes Ozzy Black Sabbath more than Dio Black Sabbath. Obviously. Check this out. This is a group called The Dumb Numbers. The Dumb Numbers is actually Adam Harding, an Australian musician and filmmaker who often puts out some records of music with tons of his favorite artists as guests. Dinosaur Jr., Jesus Lizard, The Swans. This one happens to be with my favorite guys, the Melvins. This is a 3-song, 10-inch EP. And we've got Broken Pipe, Harvell, and So-Called Solid Objects on here. And check that out. This is sharp, people. Very painful. I've cut down some trees from my parents' front yard with this thing. No. But this is killer fun thing to own. And sounds great. I mean, he's a fan of some really great noise rock. The Dumb Numbers. I also have another full-length album of his, which has Dale from the Melvins on it and a bunch of other guests, multiple guests on that one. Really worth checking out, but more so worth getting simply to have a chainsaw record. How awesome is a chainsaw record? Splatter vinyl chainsaw record. Love that. And I love everything the Melvins do. They're such a hard band to collect everything of, but definitely good little side thing that the Melvins worked on right here. Britney Spears' sister, Jamie Lynn, can fit 7 cucumbers in her mouth at once. I could not believe I forgot about this album when I was a kid. A good friend of mine had this, Julia Frank, and we used to listen to this all the time. And then when I saw it in somebody's collection on Discogs in like this $5 range, and it was mint, I had to get it. This is the UK's We've Got a Fuzzbox, and we're going to use it. The band Fuzzbox. This is fantastic. These are the girls in the band. This is a punk band from the 80s. So killer. I love this. 1986. I'm not sure if they even had another album. We used to listen to this one all the time. It's got songs like Love is the Slug, Wait and See. They do a cover of Spirit in the Sky. It is so freaking fantastic. XXX, Hollow Girl, What's the Point? This is the back cover here. This is just, the front cover is really beautiful, really cool going on there. And this is just regular black vinyl. But we got some great pics of the girls here. Young punk girls from the 80s. How fun is that? I grew up with this stuff. This is so great. We've got a fuzz box and we're gonna use it. What an awesome name for a girl punk band, fuzz box. This is so good to have in my collection. When I got this in the mail, I must have listened to this for a week straight, remembering all the good times I had as a kid, driving around and going to Northampton, Mass for records. And Northampton, Mass was like the mecca for punk rock and alternative people at the time. It's a college town. It's got all the best record stores in there. So awesome. So many memories with this record. Justin Timberlake has a tattoo of a curved line on his shoulder because he was gonna get a tattoo of Yosemite Sam and started to cry. And that's where they had to stop. Oh, Brittany, you kill me. Hey, check this out. David Bowie live in Santa Monica from 1972. This is a double album. This is fantastic. And speaking of tattoos, I got the song My Death Waits around my wrist because of his cover of My Death on this album, which is hauntingly great. This has got so many good songs on it. Hang On to Yourself kicks it off. Ziggy Stardust Changes. The Superman Life on Mars, of course, is a huge banger. 5 Years, Space Oddity, Andy Warhol, My Death. The Width of a Circle, Queen Bitch, Moon Age Daydream, John, I'm Only Dancing, Waiting for the Man, his Lou Reed, Velvet Underground cover. The Genie, Suffragette City, and finishes on a really cool, haunting version of Rock and Roll Suicide. Pretty much him and his acoustic guitar alone. In this album, there's some great talking and some silly banter. At one point, he admits or says something about acid lobster tails. Makes you wonder if he's tripping on mushrooms or acid or something that night, but there's definitely something going on at this show.
Playing to you on a courtesy of a piece of palm tree that I ate. Acid lobster tail. And they brought me piece of palm tree.
Show. On the back, he talks about, I can tell that I'm totally into being Ziggy. By this stage of our touring, it's no longer an act, I am him. This would be around the 10th American show for us, and you can hear that we are all pretty high on ourselves. We train wreck a couple of things, I missed some words, and sometimes you wouldn't know that pianist Mike Garson was on stage with us at all. Overall, I really treasure this bootleg. Mick Ronson has had his blistering best. This is quintessential live Bowie. This is so good. This has been bootlegged a number of times, but I believe what I have is the final official release. Kind of cover looks like this. There's been a number of different covers. This is the cool insides right here that the record sits in. That's some great artwork right there. Looky-loo, David Bowie live. Here's some pics of the guys from the show. Meow meow. And fantastic. I am so glad to have that in the collection. Definite search this one out if you're a big Bowie fan. This is the way to hear David Bowie. Oh, this is tragic. Turns out at the end of Britney's conservativeship, her father is now broke and a Walmart greeter. Man, how life can change in an instant. Hey, check this out. Why would anyone get this? Because it's a record collector's fun must-have. This is the Louvin Brothers. Satan is real. Ironically also in our Shout at the Devil episode, but whatever. This is on Flamin' Hell red vinyl. Pretty cool. Satan is Real by the Louvin Brothers. There's the guy. This is a famous album cover that is often spoofed on crazy vinyl album covers. The Louvin Brothers on Stetson Records. This was their label, I believe. The Louvin Brothers are a Christian folk duo from the late 1950s, early 60s. They have a number of albums, a lot of them with different themes. This one being obviously the Satan is Real theme. Songs like Satan is Real, There's a Higher Power, The Christian Life, The River of Jordan. This is a great one. The Kneeling Drunkard's Plea. Are you afraid to die? Dying from Home and Lost, The Drunkard's Doom, Satan's Jeweled Crown, The Angels Rejoiced Last Night, and I'm Ready to Go Home. Probably to hell. Can't get there fast enough, right, kids? So anyway, the Louvin Brothers were regulars on shows like the Grand Ole Opry back in the day and stuff. The story behind this album cover was that this devil is actually a really tall statue that they made themselves. And this is real. They put this they set this on fire. They almost injured themselves during the photography for the album cover. This is really a creepy looking Satan. Almost exactly, let me get that glare out of there. Very much for late 1950s, early 1960s. That's the South Park Satan. Just skinny. I mean, look at that guy. And I guess they almost injured themselves in the fire. So, risk well worth it. This is a really funny album. Worth having. Very silly. I regret to say I spent like 30 something bucks on it, but Satan is Real, people. Get into it. It is fun. We'll listen to a little bit of it on the way out. So that's it, vinyl community. Thank you so much for watching and coming back to Synner's Den. Gotta admit, I'm a huge Britney fan. I absolutely love her. Yes, I do own all these t-shirts. I love the book. I did go out and get this. There's a lot of great stuff in here. Nothing I said was actually in here. I was just joking around, but love Britney Spears. At some point in the future, I'll show you all my Britney collection. But for now, enough about my guilty pleasures. See you next time, vinyl community, and go check out the MC5 video that Abigail did, DeVoe did. That is phenomenal. Thank you so much for coming. Bye, everybody.
Satan is real, working in spirit. You can see him and hear him in this world every day. Satan is real, working with power. He can tempt you and lead you astray. I attended service at a little church in the country not long ago. A prayer was led by an old country preacher who then raised his hands as everyone stood and sang, "My God is real." A warm breeze through the open windows brought in the smell of new mown hay in a nearby field, and the singing of birds could be heard in the moment of silence as the preacher opened his Bible to read. And then a little old man stood up, bent with age, his hair thin and white, and said,
"He's not into golden showers, as they say they call them." He's not into golden showers, as they say they call them. He's not into golden showers, as they say they call them. I don't like that idea. No, I thought that would be a big problem.
Satan is real, working in spirit. You can see him and hear him in this world every day. Satan is real.